Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, I am the Introverted Reader, and today's video, finally, we're wrapping up the month of August. Applause, all the applause, finally. Summer's over, we're getting into the autumn, and now I can wrap up these books. I did read quite a bit in the month of August. I'm very, very proud of myself. A lot better reading journey than July. July wasn't, it was a good month overall. July, it was great, but reading wise, not so great. But I managed to read 6 books in the month of August, which tends to be the norm for me, but I feel like after July, I'm back on track again, you know? Right, so let's go through them all, shall we? So the first book that I completed was Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is her first book in the Crowns of Nyxia series. So basically what the series is, it's not like a cohesive series, if you know what I mean. It's like this is a duology, and then there's another duology, and then there's going to be a third duology over. So it's like 6 books, but they're like 3 separate little duologies, if you know what I mean. There's like novellas and stuff as well, but this is the first one. And in this one, we start off with Araya, who is a human that was adopted by the vampire king. Adopted by the vampire king, and she's the only human in and amongst all these vampires. Not a great place to be. But anyway, she's under the king's protection. You know, he raised her as his daughter. And you know, she does what she can to survive. She does what she can to survive. But then there's this big competition that's happening. And basically all of the vampire houses, they pick a champion and they get together. And their champion goes and competes in this series of like trials and stuff. And basically last one standing gets to, you know, be in charge essentially. So she ends up competing for that. And this is a fantasy romance, but I would say this is more, it's a fantasy book, but with the romantic subplot. Like there's the romance in there. You know, Araya and the love interest end up having to like team up together within the competition. And you know me, I love a book that features like a game or like a competition. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. The first time I read this, because I read it before on my Kindle, I thought I gave it 5 stars the first time I read it, but no, I gave it 4. And I genuinely can't remember why. And I'm like, what are you kidding me? This is 5. This is the full 5, okay? So much fun. I love this. I love it. I love it. So 5 stars for this one. And then another 5 star that we got was the Introverted Reader Book Club pick for the month of August. And that was Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This is her debut adult novel. Could I have waited until like now, September or October to read this? Yes, but I was just super excited and I wanted to read it right away. I have a full review for this on my channel if you want to go and watch it. It's there. It's one of the last videos that I put up in the last few weeks. But basically this is about our main character Jet, who gets violently attacked on Halloween night, and she is basically told that she has 7 days to live, essentially. But I have a full review about this where I go more into depth about what it's about and how I felt and stuff like that. So if you want to go and check that out, that'd be great. So, but all in all, this was amazing. So go watch my review if you want more on that, but 5 stars. The next one that I read was on my Kindle, and it was Vows and Ruins by Helen Schweringer. Is that how you pronounce her last name? I'm not sure. But it's the sequel to Blood and Steel within the Legends of Thesmar series. So this is book 2, and book 1 I read, I think, did I read that in July? Yes, I did read it in July, because I remember I brought my Kindle to London with me and I read it over there. But anyway, it's basically a series about our girl Thea, and she wants to join an organization called the War Swords, but women are not allowed to be war swords because there's this prophecy about this daughter of death that's going to bring destruction on everybody. So basically the men were all like, well, women aren't allowed to be war swords anymore. They're not even allowed to hold a knife and all this. But then she, obviously our girl is like, no, I want to fight. I want to be a warrior. It's who I am and all this. She does give very I'm not like other girls vibe, which is a little bit annoying. I won't lie to you. Um, Overall, the series isn't perfect, but I had so much fun while I was reading it. I didn't really care. And the ending of this, did I see it coming? No. So in terms of how much fun I had and the enjoyment that I got out of reading it, I gave it 5 stars. And I don't even care. Like, argue with a wall. And then I read my Shadowhunter novella from Ghosts of the Shadow Market. Now the one that I read was called, let me just go back and see, Through Blood, Through Fire. That was what it was called. This one got me in my feelings. I remember genuinely almost tearing up while reading this particular novella. And I'm actually getting a little bit, I'm actually really like, I only have 2 more left within this novella collection. And I will say, I think this might be my favorite of the novella collections that's been out thus far within the Shadowhunter world. And you know me, like the Shadowhunter world just brings me so much joy, and reading these is just, it's giving me the joy that I needed through my summer depression, okay? But I love this. And I've only got 2 more left, which feels really strange because, you know, I think, did I start reading this back in like February, January? I can't remember. Start of the year anyway. And then, because Vows and Ruins was so good, on my Kindle, I read Fate and Furies, which was the 3rd book in the Blood and Steel, 3rd book in the Legends of Thesmar series. The 1st book is Blood and Steel, but anyway, I read the 3rd book, loved it, and yeah, like, see, if you want a fantasy / romance series that's really fast and super easy to read and just a lot of fun and maybe a little bit over the top and over dramatic, but you don't really care because you're having a good time, then pick up this series because I was fully engrossed, okay? I know it's not the best thing I've ever read in my life, but I was hooked. Like, I couldn't stop. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, then by all means. And again, in terms of how much I enjoyed it, I gave them both 5 stars, and I don't care. That's just who I am, okay? Like, we had a lot of 5 stars in August, which really, really warms my heart. But anyway, the last book that I read in the month of August, and I'm so happy that I got this read, and that's Ashes and the Star-Crossed King by Carissa Broadbent. This is the sequel to Serpent in the Wings of Night, and this is a chunker. She is huge. Like, this is over 700 pages. And I'm so happy with myself that I read it and that I finished it. It kind of reminds me of From Blood and Ash, just the way it's like, it is a thick book, but it took me no time. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, once you're in the story and once you're, like, you know, settled and you're just in there, like, there was no stopping. There was no stopping. And again, the romance is not at the front of this. Like, this is a fantasy book with the romance sort of element in there. And I have Songbird and the Heart of Stone ready to go for this month. And I know the sequel for it is out. I haven't got it yet. I want to wait until it comes out in paperback. So, but yeah, read this, loved it. And if it sounds like a series that you would be interested in, if you're a fantasy romance reader, but you prefer more fantasy over the romance, I would definitely recommend Carissa Broadbent. So those are all the books that I consumed in the month of August. 6 books, well, 5 books and 1 novella, but I count the novellas too. So yeah, that's all the books that I consumed in the month of August. Let me know what you read in the month of August. And yes, the Introverted Reader Readathon has officially started. So obviously we're only on day 2. So like, if you want to join, you are more than welcome. I have the announcement video on my channel if you want to go and watch that. And I've got my TBR and all up. I feel like I'm finally like back in like a proper reading mood. Like, all I want to do now is read, and I haven't felt that way in like over like a month, if if not even more so than a month. But anyway, these are all the books I read in August. I hope you enjoyed this video. All my socials are down below as always. Blue Sky, Instagram and Threads, and TikTok. They're all down there, so follow me there if you want to. You can subscribe to this channel if you are not already. If you're liking what you're watching, then leave a like so the algorithm knows you like me. Ring the bell so you know when I put up a video next, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.